Good morning, y'all. How are you doing? Nice to see y'all. It's been a while for a live show. Appreciate your patience. We have a lot to talk about. If you have any questions, of course, drop it in the comments. All right. Share our channel with your friends. We greatly appreciate it. And in this episode, as you probably expect, we're going to talk about immigration reform. The Congress has taken one big step towards that. Okay, so stay tuned all the way to the end to see if this will benefit you somehow. All right, now let's get down to it. Welcome to Green Card Guys TV. Thank you so much. I'm your host, John Ting. Thank you for tuning in. I know it's very early if you're in the United States, or if you're in the Philippines or India, for example, it's late over there. So thanks for tuning in. Now, here we are. Infrastructure bill in the Senate has passed. Okay, that's a big deal because if you remember in President Trump's 4 year term, he talked about infrastructure week every week, pretty much. And then the COVID-19 pandemic derailed him, right? Or at least that's what he wants to complain about. So, as President Biden mentioned in his press conference yesterday, it's no longer having to deal with infrastructure week anymore. The Senate, has 50 Republicans, 50 Senate Democrats. So that's where they were concerned. Did not even have to do that through any kind of budget reconciliation pathway. I believe there was at least 17 to 19 Republicans that agreed and voted in favor of it. So now it moves on to the House. Now you might wonder, why is this even important? It hasn't even been signed by the president. It hasn't gone through the House yet. Well, the Senate was where typically has the biggest problems when it comes to um, passing proposals, passing bills, or voting for a bill. I guess you can say it doesn't pass until the president signs off on it. Now that's important. Infrastructure is pretty much done because now what happened today this morning on the Hill in Congress in Washington D.C. is that they already started the budget reconciliation pathway. Okay, they started that process. They got a message here from the team. Okay. All right, great. So sorry, we get pings for consultations pretty much all day. So by the way, friends, if you're new to our channel, please go ahead and subscribe. Hit the bell so you get all the future notifications just like this right here. All right. Sorry, I got to make that transparent. But anyways, you know what I look like. And so yeah, hit the bell, click the bell so you get all the future notifications of our videos. We try to do it once a week these days. Usually it was more often before, but now I have a baby, 1 month old. So any parent out there, you know what I'm talking about. It's a bit difficult having to do a lot of things at once. So families first. But we'll try to come on live once a week for y'all, answer any questions. But of course, if we don't catch you the right time, you're welcome to give us a call right here. I know it's a little hard to read, but 346-330-5888. Again, if you're new to our channel, we do offer free 15-minute preliminary discussion consultation. Just see if we can point you in the right direction. Sometimes we're not able to because maybe you're not eligible or you're already pretty much done and you just want confirmation. So I definitely understand. Our legal team is ready to assist you and point you in the right direction. But sometimes, or I mean, all the time, you'll have to share your information with our CARES team first to see if you even need to speak with the attorneys. So to take advantage of that, friends, let me show you the not so secret code. You probably could have guessed it, Green Card Guys. There it is. Take advantage of it. We're happy to help you and see where we can go from there. Okay, where you can go from there. And by the way, if you have any questions in terms of like, let's say, you're pretty close. You have the interview date, but it actually didn't include you if you're the son or daughter or niece or nephew of the petitioner. Okay, so petitioner, your uncle or aunt, and they filed for your dad or mom, and you thought you'd be included as what we call derivative. So you're concerned as a CSPA, and you try to figure out your age. We get those questions all the time. We have a video about it. We can check out that video in our playlist, and you'll get some tips there. Okay, because a lot of people, we get a lot of calls on this. A lot of people qualify. It's a bit complicated formula on the CSPA age. But anyway, just want to give you an example how we can point you in the right direction. I'm kind of gearing off from the channel today. The topic is immigration reform. Again, the Senate this morning started the vote on passing it to agenda so I can send it to the conference committee so then they can write up the bill. This preliminary, I'm not going to bring up the draft right now because it's really skeleton right now. But usually, how they do this, I discussed this a couple weeks ago, is that the question is how can they include immigration into a budget bill, and this is how they do it. Immigration agency, like any other agency in the United States, needs money, so that's how they're doing it. Essentially, just to boil it down, it's quite simple in that way. So the fact that they're able to mention it right now, that means the parliamentarian already agreed to it, at least to say that it can be, included. Of course, it's up to a vote, a final vote. This is just the first vote, okay, to start the discussion. All right. So infrastructure, they just passed a $1 trillion bill, or passed in the Senate, right? We still have to wait in the House. Then the next thing is immigration reform through the budget reconciliation bill. Now, that is $3.5 trillion. So basically three times the amount as infrastructure. And you might wonder, well, Republicans passed this? You would think so. I mean, Republican legislators, politicians also have families. So this is what it includes. It includes money for health care, child care. Let's see here, my long list. Climate change. Hey, apparently Republicans don't believe in climate change. I don't. The temperatures have been rising for several years now, but they still don't believe it. But yeah, paid leave. Who doesn't want that? Apparently Republicans probably don't want that. We'll see in the next couple of weeks when it goes through debate. It also raises taxes on the rich and corporations. That I understand. Republicans don't like that. But again, if you might remember, the what do you call that? The tax cut is what Congress passed under Trump, I think in his first year of his term. And so they cut it significantly. So just getting it back to normal is probably what's going to happen. I know President Biden administration wants to increase it even higher than what it was before, but just the way Congress works, it probably won't be that way. It'll be probably back to normal amount, okay, the normal tax rate. So today was just the first step, okay, and towards the bigger roadmap in terms of the roadmap, okay. So again, friends, this is just very preliminary. If you have any questions, if you have no idea what I'm talking about, if you like what I'm talking about, if you don't like what's going on in Congress and you think they need to step on the gas pedal, drop it in the comments. Let us know. Because anything that you're going to share with us, we're always going to share with Congress in terms of our clients need progress, okay? And you can do it as well. You can contact your elected official, even if you're abroad, but you have family in the United States, right? You can ask them, encourage them to contact their elected officials. Not sure, yeah, you can pick up the phone. They can pick up the phone and call into the 202 number in DC and hit the switch line so you can transfer to your elected official. That doesn't mean you're going to literally talk to the politician right on the spot. They don't have like a phone on their hip to speak to constituents like us. Unfortunately, that would be nice, but they don't have time for that. They got to be on the floor of Congress, of the Senate, or the House, and they need to debate on these bills, especially about related to immigration reform. And I know, yeah, I know. Okay, I got a comment here from Tuma. Nice to see you, Tuma. Nice to see you. Yeah, thank you so much. It's our second one. Any good news on getting approval soon at USCI stage? Upside down face. Well, you know, approvals. I think you have a case already filed. I think at least a petition. So please just check the processing time on USCS period gov website. More or less, it's on track. Sometimes it's not. Even if it has a range all the way up to 25 months, for example, it doesn't actually mean your case will take up to 25 months. They're just giving an example. I mean, for example, some people forget. We had one client that forgot to provide their medical exam, or didn't forget. They said, oh, we'll just wait until the officer tells us, even though we gave them advice So they had to wait an extra year because they didn't listen to our advice. So we're here to solve your immigration problem, even as a small detail like your medical exam before the interview. Some people don't know about it. It's important. So that's why we're here to help, okay? Something small like that, we can help point you in the right direction, save you a lot of time. Hey, T, nice to see you. Will 11 million undocumented be saved or just DACA TPS? Great question. I mean, so far they mentioned farm workers, TPS holders, and DACA, the Dreamers. So nothing more than that so far, but we'll keep you updated as the debates continue and start with Congress, at least with the Senate right now. The House is on recess right now. They're on basically vacation back at home. So as soon as they get back, then I'm sure they're going to start debating on it as well. Okay. So let's see. Oh, sure. Happy to entertain more questions here. If all goes well, OCL, nice to see you. I hope I pronounced your name correctly. If all goes well, or if all goes according to plan for Democrats, if reconciliation gets passed, how soon will Dreamers, TPS, and all those eligible be able to obtain permanent residency? Okay. Hey, that's a great question, actually. So usually when bills pass, it can, if it's a majority, I believe it's if it's a majority, at least 60, which won't happen in this situation, unfortunately, then it can be effective immediately. So let's say miracle, it passes today, then it can go in effect tomorrow or the same day. But that's typically not what happens. Um, I know in Texas, at least, that usually if they meet every 2 years, and usually so if bills passed by session ends in May of that year, then that same year the bill will be in effect. The law will be in effect on September 1st, the same year. So federal Congress, it's similar, but they can change the date if they want to, the effective date. But that kind of give you an idea. Usually it's the same year when it passes. Okay, so that's a great question, OCL. So I mentioned in previous live shows or episodes that knowing that it could happen this year, you need to get all your documentation ready. And you might ask me, people will have asked me before in consultations, well, what kind of documents, John? I'll tell you what, they usually want to know 99.9% of the time. Actually, let's just put it 100%. They want to know if you've been living in the United States for the last, let's say, 5 years or so, or like for DACA since 2012. So you need to get that kind of documentation right. It can be literally anything. You can have a medical appointment, you can have an eye appointment, something to show that you were in the United States. And so appointment medical exam appointment letters are perfect for that. Of course, I hope you're in good health, but I'm just giving you an idea. Even optometry, you get your eyes checked out, which, hey, I got plenty optometrist friends. So if you have any questions about that or need referrals, happy to help you. Um, let's see here. Oh, so yeah, in my previous videos, early back in January this year, 2021, I did mention, hey, if you've been following my channel, you know what I'm talking about. You know exactly what I'm talking about. I did say that any reform was not going to pass early in the year. It was not going to pass early in Biden administration, but it would most likely, if any time, happen after the summer. Hey, school just started and we're back in session. School literally started for uh, my older child, toddler, yesterday. Hey, talk about the timing. I said in my previous live shows, it was just a prediction. I don't know everything, but just knowing how politics works, they want to take care of the more other priorities in Congress. Okay, that that they've been talking about for a while. So I did mention in my previous live shows that they could talk about it as soon as August, and here we are in August 2021, August 11th. Just gonna pat my back here, but I'm sorry if you're gonna ask me when it will actually pass. Ooh, that's a tough question. But hey, I want to share a story with y'all. Here is an example. I'm just going to shift gears a little bit. I just want to share a story with y'all, a success story. We filed a Mandamus lawsuit, and we let me tell you why. Our client had filed for a residency perm through his employer. It took him 5 years. He had three interviews, adjustment interviews at the local USCS office within 2 years. No result, no RFE, no request for evidence, no updates. Called in for info pass appointment, nothing, nothing. Filed, sent a letter to a congressman or congresswoman, nothing. As I mentioned, Congress people, hands are tied. They can't do much. They can't. You have to file a lawsuit. That's the mechanism, okay? I'm not saying you have to wait 5 years until you file a lawsuit against the government. Depending on the situation, if you're abroad, I'll wait at least 2 months, 60 days, because sometimes I'll get back to you in that time. But otherwise, if it's waiting for a decision after an interview, after 485, I'd wait at least 6 months, okay? Because the U.S. Attorney's Office, they don't want the case to be slammed or their caseload to be slammed if you want to file a lawsuit 1 month after your interview, because sometimes it takes 1 month, but most of the time for us, our office, it takes about a week. We've been very fortunate. We had three or four green cards approved for clients last week. It was great. But back to the lawsuit success story. We filed the lawsuit back in February or March this year, and he was approved in July. So what is that? 5, 6 months? Give us a call. We'll solve your immigration problem. Okay. Phone number here 346-330-5888. And here is the not so secret code. Okay. You really have to share this code. That allows us to know because we get a lot of messages. You can text us, you can call us. We prefer a call so we can talk to you as soon as possible. But hey, I understand if you're busy at work, fill out the intake form down below. It starts with Ting Law. You can pick any of them. Don't worry about it. Just so we have some basic information, and our cares team will call you within 24 hours of a business day. Okay. So here's a secret code. Please share it because we get a lot of requests for consultations. I get it. You may have consulted with two or three others already, so you don't want to pay another consult fee if you're not sure if you're even eligible for a current pathway. So if you feel stuck and you're not sure if you're eligible, give us a call anyway. Even if you've been down in the dumps, maybe we can pick you up. Okay, maybe you're eligible for something now. Give us a call. All right, because we've had that kind of conversations before with several um, other folks like y'all, and we were able to find a pathway. You know, it just takes time. I think a lot of attorneys feel rushed to make a decision, share an opportunity, a pathway right in the consultation. Sometimes we need the records, right? We need to see your documentation, see the past history. It's very, very important. We need to investigate for you because you might not have the past documents, and we're happy to submit something called the FOIA, Freedom of Information Act. Okay, so just want to give you an idea on that. But again, very preliminary here in Congress in Washington, D.C. And I have so much to share, but that's about it for today. I don't see any other questions, but if you enjoyed our content, please kindly hit the like button. We greatly appreciate it. And in the meantime, until next time, unfortunately, I still have to say this as my sign off. Please, please continue wearing a mask, okay? Please. This is really, really, really unfortunate what's going on across the world and still in America, even though allegedly 70% of people in America are vaccinated. Okay. Uh, anyways, please stay safe. I'll be thinking about y'all, and we'll talk to you soon.